Hi everyone, bonjour à tous. My name is Clara and I'm a lecturer here at the in French at the University of Sydney. Welcome to our French immersion webinar. Carolyn, shall we go?
Let's start. Allez-y. Nous voudrions rendre hommage aux propriétaires traditionnels de la terre sur laquelle l'Université de Sydney est construite, le peuple Gadigal de la nation Eora. C'est à nous de respecter et d'honorer ceux qui ont pris et continuent de prendre soin de cette terre. Okay, so we have with us today three students from the Department of French and Francophone Studies, Junaid, Olivia and Sanya. They'll introduce themselves a little later and be with you to answer some questions and go through a little activity. So Clara and I are going to start off by explaining to you about the pathway that you might take through French studies at the University of Sydney, and then we'll do a little activity with you before handing over to the students. So just in relation to your own pathway, we recognise that students come with different amounts of experience, and so we can cater for all levels of experience. So if you haven't ever studied French before and you want to start at the University of Sydney, you come into the introductory stream. You'll also join the introductory stream if you have done just a little bit of French at school, and that could be up to, for example, year 10 at school. Once you've done HSC beginners or IB ab initio at school or equivalent, because we do recognise that some students don't come in through the HSC exam system, you will go into what we call our intermediate pathway. And if you have completed HSC continuous and extension, or you have finished your IB at standard, or if in French at standard or higher level, you'll go into our advanced stream. So in terms of our courses, so in the introductory stream and in the intermediate stream, you'll do mostly language units of study, and there will be a cultural unit incorporated into your studies if you choose to do a major, and Clara will talk to you about that in just a minute. If you are part of the advanced stream, you'll be studying approximately half language units and half cultural units with us at the University of Sydney, and everything is in French. Even if you're a part of the introductory stream, we do ensure that you're given a real French immersion experience through each one of our pathways. Clara, over to you to talk about the various ways of studying French at the University of Sydney in terms of majors, minors and individual units of study.
Thanks, Carolyn. So here we go. Whether or not you have studied a language before, and if you're looking at studying French, there's two different ways you could do that. First is through your main degree or your bachelor's degree. And within your bachelor's degree, you could choose to do a major in French. And a major is 8 units of study, so 8 courses over 3 years, which is a combination of language units and cultural units, as Carolyn just mentioned. Through your major, you will also do a semester-long interdisciplinary project units that will allow you to use the skills that you have learned in French and apply them in other subject areas. And within your majors, we also strongly encourage you, irrespective of the stream you're in, beginner, intermediate, or advanced, to go on exchange. And exchange is going to be a great way for you to apply all the things that you have learned in your French class at university. If you don't have room for a major in your degree, you could also do a minor. Instead of 8 units, you will do 6 units, usually over 3 years. And again, combination of language units and cultural units. And you can also go on exchange or in country study. When you do a minor, you can also do short-term exchange. You don't have to do a minor for that. You could also do a short-term if you do a major, but just so you know that both options are available, short-term exchange or long-term exchange. And you could just do a few units of study. If you only have room for 1 or 2 units of language, you could just do 1 or 2 as an elective. The second way for you to do language, if you don't have room in your degree, is to study it concurrently with the Diploma of Language Studies. And the Diploma of Language Studies is basically just a major alongside your main degree, but there's a bit more flexibility to that. So just know that you could do French within your degree or outside your degree. It's very flexible. All right, shall we move on?
Okay, let's go. So the activity that Clara and I are going to work through with you is around tongue twisters. Donc, on va travailler la prononciation par des virlangues. I've chosen two sounds for you today that Anglophones, English speakers, find the most difficult probably when they try and when they study French for the first time. Donc, quels sons en français posent des problèmes de prononciation pour les anglophones? So we've got two different sounds. Firstly, la différence entre U, as in tu, and ou, as in vous. And secondly, the difficulty with rolling your R's in French. Donc, l'incapacité de rouler les airs comme trois. Merci, Clara. Donc, d'abord, on va commencer avec la différence entre U et OU. So just a little hint to help you work through this and make sure that you pronounce the sounds separately and appropriately. So in order to pronounce the sound U, as in tu, and it doesn't matter whether you've done no French before or whether you've done just a little bit. We're hoping you're going to practice with us at home. So round your lips and lift your chin up like a giraffe. Arrondissez les lèvres et soulevez le menton. On dit faites comme une girafe. Donc, c'est pour prononcer le son U. U. Essayez avec Clara. Have a go with Clara.
Répétez après moi. Repeat after me. Lulu. Très bien. Encore une fois, one more time. Lulu. Now let's go with russe. Répétez après moi. Russe. Maintenant, sur. Sur. Et enfin, tu. Tu. Well done, everyone.
Bravo tout le monde, bravo Clara, merci. Donc encore, on a donc la différence entre U, as in tu, and ou, as in vous. So to make sure you pronounce this one correctly, you need to round your lips like you did before, but this time project them forward. So to pronounce the sound ou, arrondissez et projetez en avant les lèvres. Donc c'est pour vous. Travaillez, essayez avec Clara.
OK, répétez après moi. Repeat after me. Loulou. Encore une fois, one more time. Loulou. Rousse. Encore une fois. Rousse. Sous. Sous. Et enfin, vous. Excellent. Excellent. Well done, everyone.
Bravo et bravo Clara. Okay, parce que vous êtes des étudiants doués, because you're so intelligent, we're going to put these sounds together and try these virlangues with these two sounds together. Essayez avec Clara, mais n'oubliez pas, arrondissez les lèvres et faites comme une girafe.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is break every virlangue in little chunks so we can learn it very quickly. So, répétez après moi. Repeat after me. As-tu vu le tutu de tulle de Lily d'Honolulu? Now, let's put all of this together. I'm going to say the virlangue once and you're going to say it once after me. Let's do this. As-tu vu le tutu de tulle de Lulu d'Honolulu? À vous? Okay, let's do the next one. Remember, you need to round your lips and project them forward. We're going to again break the virlangue in chunks. Vous pouvez, vous pousser, s'il vous plaît. All right, all at once. Vous pouvez vous pousser, s'il vous plaît? Excellent. Very good job. All right. Now we're going to take this one step further and mix the two sounds U and OU. And even for me as a native French speaker, this is very hard. Repeat after me. Répétez après moi. Une russe rousse rusée montée sur une rosse, une rose à la main. All right, let's put all of this together. I'm going to say the virlang once, and I'm going to ask you to repeat once after me. Une russe rousse rusée montée sur une rosse, une rose à la main. À vous. Excellent, well done. That wasn't easy. All right, let's move on.
Bravo, Clara. Excellent. Okay, so going on to our second sound, the difficulty in rolling one's R's in French, as in R, comme trois. So the clue for this one, we've got a couple of different clues. The first one is to prolong the vowel sound that comes before the R. And en français, on dirait allonger les voyelles avant le R. The second clue is a little messy, it can get a little messy. So if you have water next to you, pronounce the sound while you're gargling just a little sip of water. Donc, buvez une petite gorgée d'eau et prononcez le son en gardant l'eau dans la bouche. Essayez avec Clara.
OK, répétez après moi. Repeat after me. Art, gare. Ensuite, mare, corps. Et enfin, guerre. Well done, everyone. So we've got a couple of tongue twisters coming again. We're going to break them up into little chunks that I'm going to ask you to repeat after me, and then we'll do the entire virlang. Répétez après moi, repeat after me. La robe rouge de Rosalie est ravissante. All right, let's do it all together. La robe rouge de Rosalie est ravissante. À vous, your turn. Excellent. So the next one is going to sound very funny sometimes, but also amazing. So we're going to break it up. 33. Très gros crapaud. Gris tigré. Dans 33. Très gros trou. Très creux. So now, let's do it all at once. Repeat after me. 33 très gros crapauds gris tigré dans 33 très gros trous très creux. À vous. Ah, well done. That was very good. Let's move on to the next part.
Okay, merci. Bravo, Clara, et bravo tout le monde. I hope you managed to work on your French pronunciation there, regardless of your level and understanding. We didn't bother to translate those tongue twisters because actually they don't mean anything or nothing that would make sense anyway. Okay, so over to Junaid, just because I can see you next on my screen, over to you to introduce yourself.
Okay, thanks, Carolyn. Bonjour à tous. My name is Junaid. A little bit about me. So I began French in year 8, which is a long time ago, and I did it all the way up to French extension in high school. But when I started university the year after, I only had enough room in my degree for one language, and I thought to myself, I've been doing French for so long, I might try something else, and I picked Arabic. But that year, I realized my familiarity with the French language began to like decrease and slip away from me, and that concerned me a little. So this year I found out about the Diploma of Language Studies, which Clara mentioned earlier, and that was fantastic because it gave me more room in my degree, or it technically is like separate from my degree, right? But it gave me the opportunity to continue with French, and it's super flexible as well. And now I do French again, and I'm in the intermediate stream. So I'll pass on now to Olivia, and she'll tell you a bit about herself.
Bonjour, my name is Olivia. I am an introductory French student at the University of Sydney. So I began French in year 7 of high school, and I went through till around about year 9 or 10. And then I stopped, and this is my second degree, so I'm a little bit older. I'm a mature age student, so I haven't spoken French in quite a few years, and I decided coming back to university that I wanted to pick it up again, and I had some room in my degree for a minor in French, so that's what I'm studying through the introductory French course, and it is one of my favourite subjects at university. I absolutely love it, and it's a really supportive staff that run the French course. So it's a great opportunity if you're looking to add a language into your degree. So if we go to Slido and we can have a look at some of the questions. I see the first question on the screen is, does the course include opportunities for exchange? And I think Caroline and Clara touched on that a little bit earlier in their presentation about the encouragement that they give students in whether you're doing a major or a minor to go on exchange, whether that be for short term or long term. So I think that, I don't know if Junaid or Sanya, you've been on exchange to France, but maybe you're more qualified to answer that. It's something I would like to do, but haven't had the opportunity yet.
Just to note, if I could step in there, thanks Olivia, that you could, as Clara said, you can go for a short exchange between the semesters, so that would be in our winter or over our summer. You can also go during one semester, but remember also you can go for 2 semesters if you want to spend 2 semesters in a row in at your exchange university, hopefully in a French-speaking country. And we do have exchange agreements with Canada, with Switzerland, and with France, about 20 or so universities overall. So there's lots of choice. Okay, thanks, Junaid. Another question, thanks.
Sure. So the next question asks, what advantages do students who study French at university gain when seeking employment? I do have a few thoughts on that. I think French at university is really good, especially because of the mobility you're given, especially compared to high school. Whereas, you know, high school, you have these pre-planned terms, and maybe if you're lucky, an exchange trip is in there somewhere. With French at university, you get a lot more power in terms of like guiding your own study and involving yourself in like extracurricular activities as well. We have a French society at UCID, which is excellent, and also going on as much exchange as you want. And the university has great scholarships for that as well. Also, if I could also add, at UCID, we do like interdisciplinary projects as well. So with and depending on your degree, you have the opportunity to work on interdisciplinary projects as well, which is what the modern working life is all about now. So yeah, if anyone else has anything to add.
Well, it also gives you a great edge, if I may add, to speak another language. It makes you so much more employable and so much more competitive on the job market. And there are so many French companies in Australia. We don't really suspect how many there are, but studying French is also a great way to give you an edge for the job market.
I think studying a language, any language,
Yeah.
and I think we can probably all identify with this, helps you to understand your own language as well. So that's an advantage. Learning a language is like problem solving, and it helps you to think analytically. And these are all, as Junaid indicated and Clara indicated, these are all things that employers are looking for when you leave. Sanya, do you want to approach another question? Thanks.
Yep. So for the next one, for how is discussing Francophone culture balanced with language learning, I think part of how uni French felt a bit different to high school French for me was in that while, of course, grammar is still focused on, there was less grammar and more on the application of French through studying texts. So culture obviously comes through as a bigger part of that. We studied short stories and we looked at the history behind them, including the context of the author and how things used to be in France. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
And if I could just reinforce that Sanya is part of the advanced stream. So if you're part of the introductory or the intermediate stream, you would be doing more grammar because you would have more grammar to learn. And that happens in your language classes. But I think, Sanya, what you were saying with regard to learning language through culture is very true in all of the streams at the University of Sydney.
Yeah. I second that, Carolyn. Especially in the beginner stream, we are trying to make sure that students not only gain a great command of the language, but also an idea of why French language and French and Francophone society is what it is today. And that's, of course, through the interconnectedness between language and culture.
Okay, so maybe Junaid, if you've got another question that you want to answer on the board. You're on mute, Junaid.
Sorry. So the next question is, what form do the exams take? I love this question because I love the way exams have taken this form at uni. So there's a greater focus on assessments that are really broken up and spread throughout the year or the semester. And I really love that because I feel like if my marks were all in like one final exam at the end of the year, I just like not pay attention in class and then cram the night for the exam. Not saying I do that, but yeah, I find the assessment structure better. But perhaps Clara and Carolyn can speak more about that.
Look, just to say that colleagues in French studies, and we'll just make this the last comment before we pass over to your activity, because Sanya, Junaid and Olivia, I want the students who are with us to have the opportunity to take part in that. Just to say that colleagues in French studies at the moment choose not to run exams in the formal exam period at the university. So you'll have, generally speaking, you'll have an oral exam which will take place prior to the formal exam period, and you'll have assessments that take place either, as Junaid said, throughout the semester or towards the end of semester as well. Any questions that haven't been answered, they will be answered, and you will have a response to that question. We just want to make sure that you have a chance to take part in the activity that the students have planned. So we'll hand over to you, Junaid, to introduce the activity.
Sure. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with emojis, and this is a cute little activity that we thought up. On your screen, you'll see 3 emojis and 3 matching words. So here we have someone in a bath, a contented face, and a someone painting their nails, and 3 words: manucure, content, and douche. So if you're beginners in French and you feel your ability isn't too great, what you can do is match the emoji to the relevant word. If you feel like you've got a bit more prowess in French, what you can do is try to use those 3 words in a sentence. So perhaps we'll use this as an example. If Olivia, you'd like to show us what it looks like to match the emojis to the word.
I'd love to. So I would match the word manicure to the painting of the nails, content to the contented face, and douche, which is to shower in French, to the person having a bath.
Lovely. And perhaps Sanya, you could give us an example of the 3 words in a sentence.
Yeah, so what I came up with was, après ma douche, j'étais très contente de me faire une manicure.
Lovely. And also, guys, you'll see at the bottom of your toolbar, there's a question and responses option. So if you really like your sentence and you'd like to share it, feel free to share it there using the questions and responses section there. Okay. So yeah, let's go on to the next one. This is over to you. So you've got 3 emojis there, and the 3 words are dormir, chat, and chanteur or chanteuse. So perhaps we'll give you a minute for that and a minute for the next one. Yeah, okay. Oh, let's make it 30 seconds then. Yeah. Okay, so time's up. Olivia, would you like to give us the matched emojis?
I'd love to. So dormir, I would match with the sleepy face. Chat, which is cat in French, I would match with the cat. I always remember it because it's cat with a H. And chanteur or chanteuse is to sing. So I would match it with a microphone. Sonia,
Lovely.
you wanted to maybe say a sentence?
Yes, these are kind of hard to link together, but what I came up with was en tant que chanteuse célèbre, ma chose préférée à faire après une longue journée de travail, c'est dormir aux côtés de mon chat.
Lovely. And what does that mean in English?
It means, as a famous singer, my favorite thing to do after a long day of work is to sleep beside my cat.
That's beautiful. Okay, let's go to the next one and the final one. So the three words are garçon, vomir, and café. So you have 30 seconds to try to match them up or make a sentence with those three words. And again, feel free to put your sentences in the Q&A box if you want. Okay, lovely. So Olivia, would you like to match the emojis for us?
Yes, so garçon, I would match with the boy, vomir with vomit, and café with coffee. Sanya,
Yeah.
maybe you can try and match those in a sentence.
Aujourd'hui, j'ai vu un garçon vomir après avoir bu son café. So today I saw a boy vomit after drinking his coffee.
Bravo. Okay, thanks very much, Sanya, Junaid, and Olivia for that great little activity. And thanks also, Clara. Clara, who currently coordinates the introductory stream at the University of Sydney in French Studies. I coordinate the advanced stream. Really happy for you to have joined us today and hope you've learned a lot. Don't hesitate to, as you can see on the screen, connect with us by Facebook or Twitter. One final thing, as you leave this meeting, you're going to be invited to take part in a survey. If we could ask you to, it's really quick to finish, only a couple of questions, and it would really help us to improve on this. It's the first time we've done a webinar like this due to COVID-19, and so we'd love your opinion on how it went and how we could improve if we do online presentations again. Okay, merci à tous, merci beaucoup. Au
Merci
revoir.
beaucoup.
Merci.
Au revoir, à bientôt.
À la prochaine.